Hello, we are discussing about GATE 1997 ECE paper, and this question is related to digital circuits. The circuit shown in the figure is an NMOS shift register. All transistors are NMOS enhancement type with threshold voltage of 1 volt. Supply used is VDD is equal to 5 volts. And there are two non-overlapping clocks are used, that is pi 1 and pi 2 are shown. They are going to be having large pulse widths. Large pulse width is nothing but during that time capacitors are going to be charged to the full extent. That is the meaning of large pulse width. And assume that when all capacitors are initially discharged and the input V input is equal to 0 volts is applied. If the values of capacitors C1 is equal to 2 picofarad and C2 is 1 picofarad, find out the voltage Vc2 on capacitor C2 after pi 2 goes low. Neglect body effect on Vt in your evaluation. So we are going to calculate what is the voltage across Vc2, that is nothing but voltage across this point we are going to calculate. This is voltage across this one. How much is going to be the voltage over here? After pi 2 goes low, that implies nothing but it will go high and later it will go to low condition. By that time, what is the voltage across capacitor C2? C2 value is given as 1 picofarad, C1 value is given as 2 picofarad. And initially all the capacitors are going to be discharged. That is nothing but the voltage across capacitor is 0. It was given. All are NMOS enhancement type with threshold voltage of 1 volt. This is also given. Okay. And if you observe, pi 1 and pi 2 are going to be non-overlapping clocks. Non-overlapping clocks implies nothing but at any point of time only one clock will be in active mode. Okay. So pi 1, if it is pi 1 is active, at that time pi 2 will be not be in the active mode. If pi 2 is active, pi 1 will not be in the active mode. At a time only one clock will be active. That is what we are considering it as non-overlapping. They don't overlap in the active edges. Okay. So that is the meaning. So before going for this one, we should understand how an NMOS transistor is going to be storing the voltages, or how it is going to be acting as a switch. Okay. So if you are going for a simple NMOS transistor, this is going to be NMOS transistor. Okay, which will be having a gate voltage Vg, that is gate terminal, and it is drain terminal. Voltage across drain is Vd. This is source terminal. Voltage across source is Vs. If the transistor may be turned on as well as turned off depending on the voltage Vg. Okay, if Vg is less than Vt, by that time transistor will be in the off condition. Okay, we are going for this one. So for example, so this is what the transistor we are going with, and this is Vg, gate voltage on gate side, and this is Vd, voltage on drain side, voltage on source side. So there will be the two cases how NMOS enhancement mode transistor is going to be acting. So first one is nothing but whenever Vg, gate voltage, is less than threshold voltage, then NMOS will be in off. So NMOS is off. That implies nothing but it is going to be acting as off switch. So like this, this is source and it is drain. Okay, and gate voltage what you are applying is Vg. So Vs is equal to 0 volts. It is no more related to the drain voltage. Even though the drain voltage is given, the drain voltage will not be applied to the source because the MOSFET is going to be acting as off switch. Now second case, whenever Vg is greater than Vt, then NMOS is on condition. On implies nothing but it is acting as short circuit. So there is a connection between drain and source. This is what switch. Okay. Now Vg is going to be greater than Vt, and this is Vs. This is Vg. Sorry, this is Vd. This is Vd. So now drain and source are going to be get shorted. So does it mean Vs is equal to Vd? Can we say? But this is conditional. Remember that one. This is conditional. Why this is conditional is nothing but the difference between Vg and Vs must be greater than Vt. Okay, the condition is VGS gate to source voltage must be greater than Vt, then only the transistor, that is NMOS, will be in the on condition. To maintain NMOS in the on condition such that drain and source are going to be shorted, okay, for that one you must apply minimum amount of gate voltage, that is going to be treated as threshold voltage. The maximum voltage at source is going to be stored such that the gate and source voltage, the difference between those two things, should be equal to Vt. It should not be less than Vt, okay, so that the maximum voltage Vs, maximum voltage at source, is nothing but Vg minus Vt. This is what the maximum voltage stored at source, okay, very important. So if you are going to applying drain voltage very large, but the source can only store up to Vg minus Vt only. If the drain voltage is less than this one, at that time that will be stored by the source. The maximum extent it can store is nothing but it will follow drain, but if the drain is going to be very large, at that time source can store up to Vg minus Vt. Remember this one, okay. So with the help of this one we can see how the NMOS shift resistor is going to be working and how to calculate the voltage on C2, that we will see. So this is what the shift resistor given, okay, and pi 1 pi 2 are going to be non-overlapping clocks, so that whenever pi 1 is going to be active, that is nothing but whenever pi 1 is 1, at that time pi 2 is going to be 0. And if you check about this one, this is the duration where pi 2 is going to be 1, by that time the pi 1 is going to be 0. This implies nothing but non-overlapping. So we are going with first case. This is first case we are going with, and second case is nothing but this one, okay. First case is nothing but pi 1 active, pi 2 is inactive. So case 1, when pi 1 is high and pi 2 is low, okay. So pi 1 is high, that implies nothing but this transistor is going to be in the on condition and this transistor is also in the on condition. By that time the voltage at this node, that is gate of this one, this point is going to be shorted to this V input, so that this is the input signal. Now it will be equal to V in. V in is going to reaches over there, and here you are going to be getting it as, since this one is going to be acting as NMOS inverter, this one is going to be acting as NMOS inverter, NMOS inverter, so that this is going to be what you are getting is nothing but V input bar you will get. So VC1 so VC1 here, VC1 voltage across C1 capacitor is going to be equal to V input dash, that is V input bar. So V input is going to be given as 0, so that 0 bar is nothing but 1. 1 implies nothing but logic 1. How much is going to be the voltage can store at this point. So if you look at this one, here you are applying plus 5 volts and the gate voltage pi 1 is going to be connected with 5 volts maximum, as you are going to be checking over here. Pi 1 is going to be having maximum of 5 volts. So here also you are going to get it as 5 volts. So 5 volts at gate, 5 volts at drain. So the source voltage is nothing but V input bar. So VC1 is going to be stored up to VC1 is equal to Vg minus Vt is the maximum voltage can store. That is nothing but VDD minus 1, which is nothing but 5 minus 1, which is 4 volts. So VC1 will be 4 volts because gate voltage and drain voltage are going to be same, so that source cannot reach the drain voltage. If it reaches, at that time VGS will be less than Vt. By that time the transistor will not be in the on condition. So the maximum voltage at source is limited to Vg minus Vt at this condition. That Vg minus Vt is nothing but Vg is at plus 5 volts, Vt is nothing but 1. So 5 minus 1 is nothing but 4 volts. Voltage across capacitor 1 is at 4 volts whenever pi 1 is high and pi 2 is low. Since pi 2 is low, at that time this transistor will be in the off condition. This transistor will be in the off condition and voltage across this one is going to be 0 volts. Since initially capacitor is uncharged, so that Vc2 is equal to 0, Vc1 is at 4 volts. This is what you are going to be getting it as 4 volts. This is a situation case 1 we can consider. Now we will consider the case 2, what happens. Okay, so now consider the case 2. Case 2 implies nothing but pi 2 is high and pi 1 is equal to low. Pi 1 is low, that implies nothing but this will be in the off condition. The transistor over here, it will be in off condition, this will be in off condition. Okay, and the voltage across this one is nothing but 4 volts. 4 volts is nothing but voltage across this C1. Voltage across C1 is 4 volts, and now pi 2, this makes the transistor into on condition. Okay, this makes the transistor into on condition. So now whenever it is in the on condition, now I am going to draw that one. This is what the pi 2, and for that one the voltage across capacitor is this one, and this is C2. C2 is nothing but 1 picofarad, which is C2, and it is C1, that is nothing but 2 picofarad. Okay, and voltage across this one is 4 volts plus minus, and this is connected to ground, and pi 2 is equal to 1, so that it will be in the on condition. Okay, so that it will be in the on condition. Whenever it is in the on condition, at that time it is going to be acting as short circuit, so that they will be connected together. Whenever they are connected together, like this. Okay, now the voltage across C1 is going to be shared by this capacitor also. So the voltage across C1 is going to be now distributed to this capacitor also whenever pi 2 is on. So that now the voltage across these two capacitors will get changed, and you are going to be getting some equivalent voltage as V. V is going to be the equivalent voltage under stable state, because before the switch is on, both capacitors are going to be at different voltages. When the switch is on, at that time both capacitors are going to be shorted together, so that voltage across both capacitors are going to be same, because they are connected in parallel. So that voltage we are saying it as V, for example. So now if you calculate V, that is nothing but voltage across capacitor C2. Okay, now whether the transistor is going to be on or off, the charge in the capacitors are going to be same. The total charge present in C1 and C2 will be same irrespective of switch position, whether it is on or off, because the charge neither be created nor destroyed. That implies nothing but total charge QT is equal to total charge is nothing but charge present in C1, that is C1 plus V2, charge present in C2, that is C2 into V2. This is nothing but total charge. This cannot be changed. This is first equation. This is with respect to, okay, switch is off. With respect to switch is off. When switch is on, that is NMOS transistor is on. When the switch is on, both capacitors are going to be having with same voltage. By that time, the same total voltage. Charge cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. So QT is nothing but C1 plus C2 into V. Because C1 into V plus C2 into V, we can write V1, V2 are now at this point same. So that C1 plus C2 into V. This is what second equation. QT is equal to, both are same. So from 1 and 2, you can write it as V is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. So from this one we can draw this one. So now we can go with this equation, and from this one V is equal to, I will draw this one, V is equal to C1. C1 is nothing but, it is given as 2 picofarad into V1 is nothing but 4 volts plus C2 is nothing but 1 picofarad into V2 is nothing but initial voltage is 0 divided by C1 plus C2 is nothing but 1 plus 2 picofarad. This 0 into something will be 0. So what you are going to get is nothing but 4 into 2, 8 picofarad divided by 3 picofarad. That is nothing but is equal to 2.66 volts. So V, voltage across C1 is equal to voltage across C2, that is equal to 2.66 volts under steady state when pi 2 is high, and once pi 2 low, when pi 2 goes low, okay, VC2 remains at 2.66 volts. So the voltage across C2 after pi 2 goes low is equal to 2.66 volts. So this is what the answer for this one. So voltage across C2 is 2.66 volts. Thank you.